Indigenous peoples also used canoes to visit neighboring communities to forge trade and political ties. Indigenous communities established numerous towns along or near the Alabama River. As European settlers came into the region, things changed. In the late 18th and early 19th centuries, the United States acquired great swaths of land to the south of the original 13 colonies. White settlers in search of cheap, fertile land began to move through this area from states in the Upper South, including North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and Kentucky. These settlers brought with them enslaved black people to work the land and to care for their homes. By the 1790s, the invention of the cotton gin allowed for increased production, and the rising price of cotton created incentives for settlers to expand their plantations and their supply of enslaved workers. Among Louisiana, Mississippi, and Florida, the demand for enslaved black people skyrocketed. Steamboats became regularly used in commerce on U.S. rivers in 1807, and by 1818, they were the primary portals for trafficking enslaved people from the north to the deep south. Travel by river greatly reduced the amount of time needed to traffic enslaved people. By the 1840s, steamboats, which could carry over 200 enslaved people at a time, could complete a 250-mile journey in under a day. Some boats were specifically built to traffic enslaved people. Traffickers used these boats to communicate with enslavers up and down the river to arrange sales and secure financial backing. The major routes that steamboats used to traffic enslaved people were down the Mississippi, where tens of thousands of enslaved people were trafficked in the first half of the 1800s, and along the east coast around to the Gulf of Mexico. Enslaved people were brought to Montgomery from Mobile and New Orleans via the Alabama River. Once they arrived at a port, enslavers would parade enslaved people through the streets and be sold in the cities, slave markets, after which they would be loaded aboard another ship or be led by land to a plantation or other forced labor site. Thousands of enslaved people were also forced to work on boats, which were used by white passengers for travel, leisure, and gambling. Enslaved workers performed the most difficult and dangerous jobs on steamboats. Hundreds of trafficked and laboring enslaved people died on steamboats